I fully rebuilt the U.S. military, created Space Force, and I was the first president in decades who didn't start a war. Instead, I got us out of those endless wars and brought our troops back home. And with the historic Abraham Accords, I even made peace in the Middle East. We had peace. We got the Abraham Accords. We would have had just about every country signed up within months after the election. And you know how many countries they've added to the Abraham Accords? None. Not a country. Because they're incompetent. Look, Biden is the most corrupt and most incompetent president in the history of our country. And you know, until I got indicted, because once you get I get indicted for this nonsense. Even every legal scholar says these indictments, and they're not indictments, they're political opponent indictments. Political opponent. People forget that. They say, oh, Donald Trump is going to court. No. And even the ones at a state level or a city level, he put his people, meaning they put their people, Garland and the young woman that works right under him, who's a big friend of Weissman. You know, Weissman, they've been after me for years, and that's fine. So far, they haven't done too well. I became president, and they said, man, they couldn't believe it. You know, they said, we can never let this happen again. And that's what they did. That's how they cheated. We can never let this happen again. But we're going to have it happen this time. It's going to be the biggest election in history, but we got to be careful. We got to be careful. 2024 will be the biggest election in history. Will be the biggest. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after we win the presidency, because it's we are going to win it, I'll have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled. It should have never started, but I'll get it settled. I know them both very well. Good relationship with very, very good relationship with both. It's got to get settled. The human lives. The number of lives being lost is far greater than what you're hearing. When you see buildings like that coming down, the number of lives being lost is far greater than anybody knows. We'll get that settled before I even get into the Oval Office. We will get it settled. To protect our citizens from foreign threats, I will build a state-of-the-art missile defense shield. You know, we have a lot of crazy people out there, and they're willing to do, and we actually have that technology now. It's our technology, by the way, but you see how it works in Israel, where they shoot down like 98% of the missiles. They're like shooting needles in the sky. It's incredible, the talent. And today, really, to be a great shot, you're better if you went to MIT than if you lift weights all day long, you know? But it's incredible when you see these guys in action. They're shooting down these little missiles in the sky, and they shoot them down. They didn't have that. You know, Ronald Reagan wanted to do that, but we really didn't have the technology, even close then. But now we have the most incredible technology. Much of it is in New Hampshire, by the way. You know, you have a lot of that technology right here. But we're gonna build a great. Remember when Russia was going crazy over it? They hated the fact that we were doing it because it meant they had to build much more, and put a lot of pressure on Reagan. Reagan was a really good president, except on trade. I disagreed with him on trade. But he was a very good president and had a great way about him, right? It was like your father in the White House, and it was good, but he was excellent. And he wanted to do that years ago, but we really didn't have the technology. Today we do. And, you know, it's okay to spend a lot of money to defend. If somebody goes crazy from some country, if we can shoot that missile down, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And we're creating jobs in our own country, and it's jobs for things that are very important